Last Sunday, a peak audience of 1.9 million people tuned into NBC and watched Nelly Korda record her fifth consecutive tournament victory at the Chevron Championship, the first major of the LGA season. It's not a Caitlin Clark rating, but for a sport that has been plagued by poor television coverage, lack of breakthrough stars, and questionable management, it was one of the better days women's golf has seen in quite some time. In theory, the LGA should be in prime position to reap some of the benefits being generated by the recent surge of interest in women's sports. For one thing, their counterparts on the men's tour have turned off scores of fans. Thanks to the interminable struggle between the PGA Tour and LIV Golf, and the odious greed driving so much division and dissatisfaction. After years of unfairly blaming the prominence of Asian players for struggling to connect with stateside audiences, the LGA now has a 25-year-old American from a prominent sporting family dominating the sport. And given that fewer than 100 days remain before the Olympics, where Korda will be defending her gold medal from Tokyo 3 years ago, this should be one of the easiest sales jobs women's golf will ever have to generate real, enduring new interest in what has always been a very good and watchable product. The door is open. There are no excuses. The time is now. But is women's golf truly ready for this moment? I'm not so sure. Up until now, 3 things have been undeniably true about women's golf, and its struggle to break through. Outside of its small, niche fanbase, Third Point, in particular, was disappointing. Sunday. While NBC should be given credit for putting the Chevron on its over-the-air network, and not stuffing it on Peacock or the Golf Channel, it would have been jarring this weekend to flip between the LGA and the concurrent PGA Tour event being shown on CBS. While the latter featured sharp graphics, high-tech camera angles, and shot-tracing gizmos that are now standard in men's golf broadcasts, the NBC coverage looked like a penny-pinching, outdated endeavor, the bare minimum to get these women on TV. At a time when we're now used to a women's basketball broadcast on ABC or ESPN looking and feeling the exact same as a men's broadcast, it was actually jarring to turn on NBC and see something that was so technically inferior to what the same network does when it shows the Players or the U.S. Open. And because NBC clearly didn't devote as many camera crews as it would have for a men's major championship, it couldn't show much of what was happening in the groups ahead of Korda. As a result, the broadcast felt like it dragged along at a glacial pace because there just wasn't much action in between Korda's shots.